because of the damaging effects of ultraviolet radiation, there's this UV index that is reported by weather people, along with how hot it's going to be, what the humidity is going to be. There's also oftentimes, especially in the summer, a reporting of the UV index, because as it turns out, some days are worse than others. Some days there's more UV light getting to the surface of the earth than others. So the UV index is going to depend on where you live, what time of the year it is, what the how the earth is tilted compared to the sun, and so that's going to be how direct the sun's light is coming to us or not. So the tilt of the earth also, as it's moving around the sun, is also going to have some indication of the UV light. So in the summer, you're going to have, the way the tilt is, you're going to have a higher UV exposure than, say, in the winter. And depending on where you are, latitude on the earth, it's going to be higher or lower, depending on the cloud cover. And so there's just been this index so low, it's not so bad. You should be fine. Just wear sunglasses. Just be careful, even if it's low in the winter. There's going to be more reflection off the snow and whatnot if you live in a place where there's snow. At moderate, you should take precautions. Definitely wear sunscreen. Avoid the sun at the hottest part of the day. It's not really the hottest part of the day. It's when the sun is the highest in the sky. The hottest part of the day is usually later in the afternoon. So at midday, you should stay in the shade. And then it just goes to extreme where, it's just very, very dangerous, and you can get UV damage in a very short amount of time. All right, so that's the UV index. It's color-coded, and there's a number associated with it. So you can kind of gauge, how long should I allow myself to be exposed to the sun on this particular day. I could be outside doing yard work or whatever, playing outside, and be fine for hours and hours, or if it's an extreme situation, you best avoid the out of doors or keep yourself covered up one way or the other. All right. Now, the reason why we have this UV index is because of this awareness that skin cancer, especially the deadliest type of skin cancer called melanoma, has been correlated with people's exposure to ultraviolet light, UVB region light. And what they found is over time that the skin cancer rates have increased. And you can see that in black males and females, the skin cancer rate has been pretty constant, but in white males and females, the skin cancer rate has increased, white males the most, over about 30-year time span from about 1972 to 2002, or 74 to 2004. And you can see the rate of cases of melanoma versus per 100,000 people has increased, and it's statistically significant. The amount has increased over time. Now, just because, let me just say something, just because the incidence of melanoma has increased more for white males than black males or females, it doesn't mean that people of darker skin don't need to worry about melanoma. As it turns out, even if your skin is dark, you have more natural protection versus from the ultraviolet light, but the cases of melanoma that occur in people with darker skin are actually more deadly. So like the death rate is higher for people with darker skin than lighter skin, and people aren't sure why. It could be that it's harder to detect, less noticeable, and then until it's too late, or there's the amount of ultraviolet light that's getting to those people is more damaging, so the cancer is more severe, a higher stage of melanoma cancer than in the white population. So just because the rates are lower doesn't mean that it's not more deadly. It is. So both people of dark skin and light skin need to be mindful of their exposure to ultraviolet radiation and take the same types of precautions, wearing sunscreen and or clothes that cover, especially like hats or sunscreen on your ears and your face, places where your skin is exposed more to ultraviolet radiation. But anyway, the bigger question here is why is it that the cases of melanoma are increasing over this particular period in time? So what's going on with the ozone or with the ultraviolet light that's causing people to have more skin cancer?